Okay, welcome back. This is Dave Arrow from Analogy, ADHD, and Tutoring. In my last video, I was talking a little bit about how you have to, as an ADHD person, reflect on the issues that you bring to the table in relationships, whether those are with loved ones, coworkers, whatever. So once you have kind of addressed for yourself, okay, being real, these are the things that I know present a challenge to other people. What I think the next step is understanding a non ADHD aspect of relationships, and that is your preferred style of polite confrontation. How's that? There are some people who they want to address the problem now, and they are going to have the whole thing out and say everything there is to say right here, right now. I kind of call those the don't go to bed angry crowd. Don't go to bed angry sounds great. However, that's not always practical. And that's definitely not always the way that individuals work. You have those people who they just want to have it all out right now. They just want to get it all out on the table and hash the whole thing out. Then there's other people who are more seemingly detached from the conversation. I've known some couples where one individual is kind of like me who wants to just, let's just get this all out right now. Let's just throw every grievance out there on the table and have it all, sorted out in the next hour. Um, but I know some other people who they'll listen, they hear you, but they're not going to commit to consensus until they've had time to think it through. And I have seen those dynamics cause more problems in times than the ADHD aspect of things. If you expect the other person to engage on your terms without actually having expressed what your terms are, there's going to be a lot of disappointment because you are going to be assuming they are going to XYZ the same way that you would. And you are going to interpret their actions where they say something or they do something or they give an eye roll. And you're going to think to yourself, well, if I had done that, I would have been extremely angry. So therefore, they must be extremely angry. May not be the case. So you really have to understand the other person's way of doing things. There will have to be compromise. But in advance of any serious sort of negotiations, you know, confrontations, verbal, arguments, you really need to establish, look, when I say things, this is where I'm coming from. And then you need to stop and you need to clearly listen to them say the same thing. So whether you've got two people who are the same, two people who are different, it's extremely important, especially for ADHD people, to identify what strategies, what philosophy the other person has when it comes to this. If you are someone who absolutely is going to talk the whole thing out right here, right now, make sure the other person knows that. And if you are the kind of person who is going to share one grievance, there may be more, but right now we're just looking at this one item. And if you set those ground rules, then you're not going to have the situation where people are, try to drag in, well, yes, but 13 Tuesdays ago you said, and then you get this, dog pile kind of situation. So for somebody with ADD, they're not going to pivot in the moment. They're not going to adapt because their mind will start racing ahead with the rebuttal to what you haven't even said yet. So, to get more productivity out of a discussion, negotiation, argument with somebody with ADHD, give them an expectation of what will and will not be accomplished in this time frame, so that they're not trying to solve, world peace, and you want to talk about those socks on the floor. So that's just one of my suggestions for ADHD people and relationships. Have a good one, guys.